Skyrim, and Tamriel for that matter, is sprawling with fantasy curses, vampiric cults, gods and demons alike. And one of those fantasy elements which I love is the idea of werewolves, creatures bound by the moon in more ways than one, and can transform their body into great beasts of man and wolf, in some cases at will, but in other cases completely uncontrollably. And so today, I've set out my mission to compile a list of mods that you can use in order to make taking the form of a werewolf a dynamic and fun challenge that finally rivals the added playthrough benefits that becoming a vampire would, in a way that is both deep and immersive, but also incredibly fun to play. So without further ado, let's finally jump right into this werewolf mod synergy.
I choose this as our goal.
Creatures of none.
All men are kings. If he breeds, he is sin.
Not because they are easy, but because they are hard.
Your Samson and Broom, all right? Won't burn.
So I wanted to begin this video by going over one of the biggest mods we'll be featuring. And there are many big different Werewolf overhaul mods, but one has always stood out to me as being incredibly fun and immersive. Moonlight Tales is a huge overhaul for the entire werewolf system in Skyrim. To begin, you will now have the customizability of selecting a unique skin for your werewolf form. And there are a lot of choices, from race-specific skins to just different striped and spotted variations. There will be something in here for everyone. But that's just the start of our features, because my favourite immersive system is Moonlight Tales' Lunar Transformation, a feature that utilises Skyrim's different moon phases that happen across the in-game month. And using this creates a realistic transformation chance depending on more or less how full the moon is. And thus, this mod comes with a few different gameplay presets which you can select from. The first being Full Moon Fever, meaning you only transform on a full moon. Walk has you very occasionally transform on nights in between, but never on a new moon. Skinwalker is more or less the same, but with a more balanced chance on in-between nights. Cursed Blood has you transform almost every night apart from new moons. And Nightmare is for you insane people that want to transform every night regardless of moon. And whichever preset you choose to enable can really taper the type of werewolf experience you have across your playthrough. The mod also makes some big changes to the werewolf perk tree, expanding it by a lot and offering many new features and progressions, such as Wolfkin Alliance, meaning wolves and other werewolves are mostly friendly to the player. And there's also been changes to the effects of the werewolf totems collectible through the Companions questline in order to make them more valuable to obtain for gameplay use. Next, we're going to go over a few smaller mods that I personally love and that work really well with one another. And the first pairs super nicely with Moonlight Tales. Fluffworks is a mod that utilises methods seen in games such as Red Dead 2 to create real 3D fur effects on creatures. Notably in our case, werewolves, creating an actual modern look to every single skin provided in Moonlight Tales. Next is a mod that adds some more immersion to feasting, in Real Feeding, which once you have chomped down on the corpse of a body you've slain, the model will be replaced with a bloody, bony skeleton. And is honestly pretty good from a gameplay perspective, because you can tell instantly which corpses you have and haven't fed on. And in the spirit of slaughtering enemies as a werewolf, we next have a mod for more accurate werewolf combat, named Precision Creatures, an addition to the new Precision mod, which adds accurate collision accuracy for attacks, meaning when fighting, your attacks actually collide correctly with the enemy. And also alternatively, when fighting other werewolves, you only get hit if the actual animation collides with you. The mod also alters the normal running camera when played as a werewolf, and more importantly, gets rid of the shaky cam when sprinting as a werewolf. Next is a mod named Diverse Werewolf Collection, which similarly to Moonlight Tales, which allows you to apply different skins to yourself, this mod applies them to all other werewolf NPCs. And not only does it work for werewolves, but werebears have the same variants too. Next is More Werewolves, a mod that adds more enemy werewolf encounters across the world, and also has small chances of encountering events in major cities where a tribe of werewolves attack guards on a full moon. And due to the Wolfkin Alliance ability from Moonlight Tales, you could, in theory, partake as a participant in the werewolf raid when they do happen. And in a similar gruesome vein, we have our next mod, titled Werewolf Narrative Expansion, a mod which decorates many Silverhand related locations with a multitude of beheaded werewolves, corpses, and other gory slaughter left behind to warn off other tribes. And while being kind of anti-werewolf, I guess, this mod is more just to give you more of a feeling of impact on the world of Skyrim. And with those mods we can move on to the next portion of the video, which is going to start with overhauling the audio aspects of Skyrim's werewolves. So there are a good few sound overhauls for werewolves, but in this video I've chosen Hypertrichosis, a mod that makes werewolves sound more beastly and intimidating. It has new transformation sounds, new gravelly damage grunts when you take a hit in combat, and of course growling, along with gory feasting sounds. And finally is new attacking grunts. But that's not the only sound mod we'll add, as there is one seemingly insignificant fix that needs to be addressed. In vanilla Skyrim, werewolf footsteps are kind of underwhelming, I guess. For such a huge beastly creature, you'd imagine the footsteps be more impactful, and so Werewolf Footstep Fix does exactly that, making your strides sound much more formidable. And that's going to be all that's needed for overhauling the sounds. So let's move on to some more tweaks and systems, starting with Werewolf Hunger, a mod that implements a need system to werewolves, meaning you will eventually grow more and more hungry in beast form. Similarly to Vampire's Lust for Blood, sort of, meaning occasionally you'll need to feast on your enemy corpses for actual role-playing purposes rather than just to recover health in the midst of a battle. And additionally we're also using Predator Vision, which allows you to use Thermal Life Detect Vision as a werewolf in order to stalk your prey. Finally is two more mods, one being a visual replacer for the werewolf totems found in the game, reskinning them to be generally more high res but also have a slightly different tone to them than in vanilla. This is including the Totem of the Hunt, and both the Totem of Brotherhood and the Totem of Fear. And now we have all of these changes and tweaks to our player werewolf along with the NPC creature werewolves you might encounter. We have one final mod that may sound like a small change, but actually adds a lot to one of the more common factions in the game. Forsworn Skinchangers is a mod that I really like for general gameplay along with specific werewolf overhauls like this one, as it aims to give the Forsworn some more terror and spice by giving select members a beastly power. When the moon is high in the night sky, certain new Forsworn enemy types will transform into their beastly counterparts during combat. And is there much more to this mod than that? No. But you'll be surprised how differently you begin to view the Forsworn when you know the odd one in there can transform at any second. And I'm pretty sure that if you're using Diverse Werewolf Collection from earlier in the video, they will display unique skins as they transform, which adds to the variety around the world. And overall, all of these werewolf mods combined together can really flesh out the werewolf experience in Skyrim, even if you don't plan on becoming one yourself. And that's going to do it for this video. If you are interested and you're in the market for a new PC, our friends over at Apex Gaming PC have just upgraded a bunch of their rigs with the new RTX 40 series graphics cards. So be sure to check out my page in the description where you can get 3 tiers of gaming PCs at minimum fit to the same specifications I'm running, meaning you can be guaranteed to have the capability to run a heavily modded Skyrim as I do, and use code BURNS at checkout for 5% off. But other than that, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Take care.